everyone. Welcome to the Family Studies Intent to Register session. I'm going to just get started with a quick presentation, and then we'll have some time for Q&A at the end. So really quickly before we start, I wanted to just include some information on nursing. I do get questions quite a bit from students in our program that are looking to potentially apply to nursing. So nursing can be done through the intent to register process in March. So if you are a student looking to apply to nursing, you will notice that there will be a link available when the intent to register application becomes live. So just know that if you are a current student, you can apply to nursing through intent to register. The nice thing is it won't impact your home program. So if you apply to nursing, you can also complete a program intent to register for family studies. And then if you're not accepted, or if you are accepted, it won't have any impact to your current program. So if you're not accepted, you could still proceed into family studies. I'm not going to go into these slides in too much detail, but I did want to include them. These slides will be posted after the session is complete. So you can definitely review if you're interested in the Western Fanshawe Collaborative 4-year program or the compressed timeframe nursing program. So just moving into intent to register for family studies. So what is intent to register? It is your opportunity to let Western know that you'll be returning to school the following year, and then also what program and module you wish to be considered for. All first-year students who plan to return to Western in the fall need to fill out an intent to register. That is because you are currently in a general first-year program. So you do need to tell us which program and module you wish to be considered for next year, and I will walk you through those in a few minutes. If there are any senior level students listening to the presentation, you only need to submit your intent to register if you are looking to make a program or a module change. If you are continuing in your current program, you don't need to complete an intent to register. Intent to register this year will be open from February 26th until April 2nd. Just to provide you with a brief timeline, so in May, the academic advising team will evaluate your academic work after your final grades are posted. This is called adjudication. So this is where we're cross-checking that you're meeting the academic requirements as well as the course requirements and then the average requirements for the module that you're looking to apply into. In June, you'll find out which program or module you've been placed into, and that will be available through the Student Center. And then in July is when you'll actually select your courses for next year, and that date will be available for you on Student Center as well. Course registration happens in what we call weekly enrollment appointments. So the 4th-year students will get access first, 3rd years will have access next, and then the 2nd-year students will have access at the end of July typically. You complete your intent to register through the Student Center. So I have just included a screenshot there to walk you through the steps. It is pretty straightforward and pretty simple. You'll go onto the academics tab, you'll click on program status, and then you'll see the intent to register form on the left-hand side that I've circled in red. You can access the system as many times as you wish, so it's not a one-time and it closes. Throughout the period, you can access it as many times as you wish to make changes, but just know that your most recent submission will save. So if you are in there playing around with it and you are making changes, just make sure that your most recent one is the one that you are finalized on. There is an intent to register guide that is posted through the Office of the Registrar. When you have access to the slides that will be posted, you can click and it will bring up the guide for you. I'm just going to see if I can quickly share it onto my screen just so that you can take a quick look at it. It is a 5-page guide that walks you through how to actually submit the application. And I will do a demo at the end to walk you through what they're kind of explaining in the guide. So hopefully that's helpful as well. I'm going to bring us back to the presentation here. So what is a module? If you are in first year, you may still be learning the module system and what that all means. So a module is simply a program of study. That could be a major, a minor, a specialization, or an honors specialization. In family studies, we offer a wide variety of modules, so they are listed on the right-hand side. We have an honors specialization, a specialization, and a major in family studies and human development. We offer an honors specialization and a specialization in a Bachelor of Science stream of Family Studies and Human Development. And then we also have an honors specialization, a specialization, and a major in nutrition and family. So we do have quite a few options to choose from. As I mentioned previously, first year students are in a general first year. So what that means is right now you're in a 4-year Bachelor of Arts, Human Ecology and Family Studies. And then next year that would be updated into one of the modules on the right-hand side, depending on what you select through intent to register and then what you meet requirements for. Just in general, Western does offer 2 different degree types, a 4-year degree, which is 20 credits, and then a 3-year degree, which is 15 credits. Oh, sorry about that. For some reason, my PowerPoint just shut down. I'm just going to reload it. Let's get this back to where we were. See if I can, sorry about that. Okay, so within a 4-year degree, there's options for an honors and a non-honors stream. So the honors stream is simply referring to students that carry a bit of a higher progression. So you'll notice that within an honors degree, you need to have between a 70 to a 75% module average. So that would be the senior level courses listed in the module. Typically for an honors specialization, there's 9 credits required. So of those 9 credits, you'd have to have that overall of, it's typically 70% for family studies. No grade below is 60% in those 9 credits of the module. And then you also need to have a 65% cumulative average, which is across all of your credits completed, and then no course failures within your degree. For a non-honors stream, to remain in good academic standing, we're looking for a 60% cumulative average. Just a quick checklist on the right-hand side. All students to graduate will have at least 5.0 1,000 level credits. You can count up to 7 1,000 level credits towards your degree. You'll have a minimum of 13 senior level credits. If you're only taking 5 1,000 level credits, you'll have 15 senior, but again, because of that flexibility, you have to have at least 13. Senior level is at the 2,000 or higher. You'll have your breadth requirements, which is that 1.0 from your A, B, and C category, and then you'll need to do your 2.0 essay designated credits prior to graduation. Just a nice visual on the screen of some different module combinations. You can definitely pick up a secondary module outside of family studies if you wish. So for example, you could have within the honors bachelor degree, you could do an honors specialization plus a major and a minor, or a major or a minor. You could do an honors double major. So you could have a major in family studies with a major in psychology, for example. And then obviously within the bachelor's degree, there's a lot of different combinations. You could have a specialization and a major and a minor, a major double minor. So there are quite a few possibilities that you can explore. With additional modules, it's important to note that they're not mandatory, so you don't need to select an additional module if you don't want to. You could simply focus on your family studies. Minors are not printed on your diploma, where majors are, so that sometimes is a deciding factor for students because it's important for them to have that module listed on their actual degree. So a minor would only appear on the academic transcript. Additional modules do not impact admissibility into professional programs, so it doesn't make your application, more competitive. As long as you're meeting requirements for that program, an additional module would not impact that. Additional modules may increase the amount of time it takes to complete your degree, especially if you're doing an honors specialization and you're adding a major, for example. You may need additional credits to fit everything in. And then if you do choose to add an additional module, and you change your mind, just know that it can be added or dropped at any point during your degree. It's not locked in after you indicated on your intent to register. I'm just going to really quickly walk you through the different progression requirements for each of the modules that we talked about a little bit earlier. So if you are a student looking at an honors specialization in family studies and human development, we are looking for students to have, and these courses will be common across all of the modules, but we are looking for students to have a 1 full credit in family studies, that's our 10-10 and 10-15, a 1 full credit in either sociology or psychology at the 1000 level. So at main campus, that would be either sociology 1025 and 1027, or psychology 1002, 1003. And then an additional credits, that would just be any first year course that you select. So the core courses will remain the same across the modules, but then the actual average to get into the modules will be a little bit different. So for the honors specialization, we'd be looking at an average of 70% in those 3 credits. So we would pull your family studies, your psych or soc, and then we pull your next highest 1000 level course to make that average with no grade below a 60. If you're looking at the specialization in family studies, again, the same courses, but we're looking for an overall of 60 with no grade below a 60 in those principal courses. And then if you're looking at the major in family studies, we're looking for an overall, or not an overall, sorry, a minimum grade of 60 in the prerequisite courses. So that would be for this module, just the full year family studies, 10-10, 10-15, and then either your psych or soc to have those minimum grades of 60. If you're looking at nutrition and families, you will notice that now foods and nutrition becomes a mandatory credit as well. So that's our 1070 and 1241. So again, if you're looking at an honors specialization, you're looking for an overall of 70 in those core courses, no grade below a 60. Specialization, again, looking for an overall of 60 with no grade below a 60 in those principal courses. And then the major would just would be a minimum grade of 60 in those principal courses with no overall average. If anyone in the group is looking at studying the Bachelor of Science stream, you'll notice that chemistry is now added into that list of core courses, so 1301, 1302. For the honors specialization, we're looking for an overall of 70%, no grade below a 60 in those core courses. And then we also have a specialization through the Bachelor of Science stream, and that would again be an overall of 60, no grade below 60 in those principal courses. If you are a student that maybe receives a grade below 60 in one of those core courses during fall, winter, there is the option to take it in summer if that is a possibility for you. We will re-adjudicate your file after completion of summer. So for example, if you do receive a grade below 60 in, say, Family Studies 10-10 during the fall, you can repeat it during summer. And then if you do meet that 60% during summer, you'd be able to progress into the module for September. So I've just put some courses on the screen that are typically offered in summer. I can confirm now that I've seen the summer timetable that they will all be offered this summer. But it's always important to double check the Draft My Schedule each academic or each summer just to confirm the offerings. So both of the first year family studies courses will run. First year sociology and first year psychology also run in the summer. The first year foods and nutrition will run, and then chemistry runs. So if you are a student that needs one of those core courses to upgrade the grade that you've received during fall, winter, it can be a possibility for you. Just some important information when you're filling out the intent to register to be aware of. If you are looking to continue in a family studies module next year, this should be your first choice on the intent to register. It is optional that you can put it as a second choice, but if you do put a first choice outside of family studies, say, for example, you put first choice sociology, second choice family studies, that's fine if you're wanting to do sociology, but just know that if you're eligible for sociology and you move into sociology, we won't even see your file in family studies. So just make sure that if family studies is your true first choice, you should put it as the first choice on the application. We do what's called a comprehensive review. So you don't need to put family studies as your second choice. So you don't need to put, for example, honors specialization family studies as your first choice, and then specialization as family studies in your second choice. What we'll do is we'll automatically, if you're not eligible for your first choice, we'll assume that you want to stay in family studies. So we'll automatically review for our next highest level module before we look to your second choice. So if you are a student that put an honors specialization in family studies and you're not eligible, before looking to that second choice, we would automatically review you for the specialization in family studies and then the major in family studies. And I'm happy to answer any questions about that if there are any. So let's look at what if. So you might be sitting there thinking, what if I receive a grade below 60? What are my options? So if you do not meet minimum progression to remain in the Brescia School of Food Nutritional Sciences, which is where family studies is housed. So say you receive a module prerequisite below 60, maybe you failed a module prerequisite. The first thing I would ask you is, did you face any extenuating circumstances? If you did, then we do have the option for students to submit what we call a letter of support, which is reviewed by our progressions and admissions committee. So they may review your file and say, yes, you can move into our module next year, but you have to repeat Family Studies 1010 to get that 60% grade that's required. For example, the committee would assess and kind of decide based on that. If you don't receive a letter of support, or if you don't submit a letter of support, you'll be then reviewed for that second ITR choice, or you'll be moved to undeclared if you don't indicate a second choice. Undeclared is simply kind of a holding position that gives you the opportunity to work on repeating some of those prerequisites that were below the 60%. So simply means that you're still working towards module entrance. If you are an upper year student in the group and you don't meet minimum requirements to remain in your current module, so say you're in an honors specialization in family studies, but you received a module grade below a 60, because as I mentioned previously, that is a requirement for the honors degree. Again, did you face extenuating circumstances? If so, then you can submit that letter of support. And if not, then you'll automatically be reviewed for the next highest level module. So we would move you either to the specialization or the major in family studies. It's important to note that with the letter of support, you can't appeal your way into an honors module. So you can't, if you're eligible for a specialization, but you didn't quite meet that 70% cutoff for the honors, the letter of support is not used to appeal your way into an honors module. It's used to keep you within the school if you're at risk of being removed because you're not eligible for any of our modules. So you're encouraged to submit a letter of support if you do feel like you had extenuating circumstances and you fall into one of those categories. And then again, as an upper year student, you're encouraged to submit the letter of support if you're not eligible to progress in your current module, which would be an honors module. The committee will review and then they will send you with a letter decision in June. We ask that the letter of supports be back by the end of April, but we are flexible because the committee doesn't meet till June. You can still submit throughout the month of May. So if you miss that deadline, still submit. It's encouraged to. You would email the letters to FNS info with your documentation, and you can find the letter on our website through the intent to register page, which I can show at the end if that's helpful. So I'm just going to wrap up quickly with providing a demo just to walk you through what it would look like to actually submit the intent to register application. So I'm just going to pop this demo on the screen and I can quickly walk through what it would look like. This is a test, so obviously this isn't, I'm not inputting someone's actual application here, but just to walk you through. So when you log into the intent to register, following the steps that I walked through previously, this would be the first page that you see. First question is asking, will you be a full-time or a part-time student next year? So for demonstration purposes, let's assume a full-time. So what will happen is your program will pop up. So for everyone in family studies, it will read that you're currently a year one family studies student. If you want to continue in family studies next year, it would be the Faculty of Health Sciences. And then our modules are listed at the bottom of the list here. So if you are looking at family studies, it would be a Bachelor of Arts, Human Ecology and Family Studies. Obviously, if you're looking at doing one of our Bachelor of Science modules, you would select that. Special students just referring to students that are here to do a second degree with us. So for everyone that's currently a student doing their first degree, it would be one of these two options. So let's assume today that we're following the Bachelor of Arts stream. The next question is going to ask the degree and the program and the module that you're looking at. So again, if you're looking at doing an honors specialization, you'd be selecting that honors Bachelor of Arts option. If you're looking at doing a specialization or a major 4-year, you'd be selecting that second option. And then this would be for that 3-year degree if anyone's looking at doing a 3-year. So let's just do our first choice or our first test with an honors. Options would be honors specialization, major, minor, honors double major. So that's mirroring what I showed you in that chart at the start. So let's say this student wants to do an honors specialization. It's going to then pull up our options. So they would either select family studies or nutrition and families. So I'll just select family studies. We'll continue. And then it's just going to do a final confirmation. Is this what you want to submit for your first choice? So again, we've indicated honors specialization in family studies, and we'll just hit confirm. So as I mentioned previously, you wouldn't need to submit a second choice. And if you do, it'd be for a program that you're looking for outside of family studies. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to walk you through one more for any students that are not looking at an honors pathway. So again, full-time or part-time, Faculty of Health Sciences. This student would, if you're looking at family studies, Bachelor of Arts, Human Ecology, Family Studies through the Brescia School of Food Nutritional Sciences. This time, let's do a Bachelor of Arts. So maybe this student wants to do a specialization in family studies, the non-honors stream, 4-year. And again, let's say specialization, and it's going to pull up the options. So the student wants to do a specialization in nutrition and families. Yeah, and then you'll just do that final check and you'd hit confirm, and it would just let you know that it's been successfully submitted. So as you can see, it is pretty straightforward. You can definitely play around with it once it opens, but again, just make sure that that final choice that you submit is what you're looking to do, because it will be the one that saves. I'm just going to bring us back to our presentation here. But that is really the end of the presentation. Obviously, if you have any additional questions, we're happy to help. You can email the Academic Advising Office at fnsinfo@uwo.ca. I'm just going to stop the recording, and then we